What is going on, guys? DJ Av here from Trap Camp, and today we're going to be talking about a modulator synth made by Bytes, which is a company that has made many great VSTs of either effects or synths. And they have a new one out, and the beat it's playing in the background has been used that uses 1% of that synth, and that is Factory. So let's talk about it, shall we? So as you see here, Factory is a awesome VST synth, man, and it's a modulator synth. Matter of fact, it's the modulator synth, and I will explain why it's the modulator synth here. But I think, you know, most importantly, everybody wants to hear like the presets and stuff like that, because one thing I want to reflect upon before I talk about anything is the presets. Let's go on the preset tour here. That's some rude FM. Bet that was in your ear. Real quick, a lot of the sound designers I actually know like firsthand. I've talked to them. I just talked to Don Garbutt. I just threw him some flattery for what he did as far as his preset designs within Factory. And you know, and one thing I want to talk about that I really think is a one-up here in terms of this is the fact that if you have a desire for like distorted sounds or whatnot, and perhaps you want some weird morphy TM88ish type stuff, you can go into distorted morph and then check it out from there. And perhaps you just want more of the craziness of morphing sounds, and you know, perhaps you want something dark. Yeah, so it's very intricate in that nature that just rolling through the presets alone has its own individual journey from the actual GUI itself, which the GUI is actually pretty simple, and that's kind of weird. It's kind of a step back and a step forward in progression of just functionality and just not wearing your eyes out from you and just being scatterbrained from Obscurium, which again, Obscurium is like probably the first of its own in terms of sequencing VSTs. So, you know, for that standpoint, it's awesome. 2 oscillators, you know, you get to choose from different modules from, you know, your pulse synth, where you work with just your pulse width, and then, you know, key tracking, setting key tracking so you're that the actual waveform itself doesn't sound too off-putting to the different octaves. So, you know, that's, you know, what key tracking does in a nutshell, to sync frequency, to even things of nature of like Cyclops, again, where you have transform. And again, if you have Cyclops, you probably already worked with this in terms of that, so it brings it back home to even having a sub oscillator to the side here within this mixer area, in which, you know, if you engage that, all that means that, you know, that particular mixer is muted. So, you know, with that being said, you also can set different your different sub oscillators to either or modulate from oscillator 1 from sine to square sine and square again, so or even both for that matter. So yeah, so it has some quite uniqueness that you can do, and also even to the point to where you can actually engage the drive or the distortion part, in which you can choose from tube distortion, diode, and sine, which something new for even my ears or eyes for that matter to even play with. So so some pretty interesting choices from Sugar Bytes in terms of this new VST here, and just from off the jump, but nothing more strange but cool at the same time as the way that they work the mod matrix, as you can dot whatever, select a source, which I selected the cutoff and the filter of oscillator 2, so I presume that is modulating the oscillator 2's wavetable sync, and it is relaying that to the filter there. Yeah, and at blue representing positive or 0 to 100, to purplish pink, which would be 0 to negative 100. So it'll be going left on the parameter knob, which is also displayed visually there for you. But one can't understand that why wouldn't drag and drop be a part of this. Perhaps I've already missed that point there, or have not explored enough. So that's fine there. But what I'm really kind of enthused about is the different type of modulators that you can work with. You have your typical envelopes, and then just your LFO shapes in general, that where you can pick certain things out to assigning it to your different sequencers or whatnot for your LFO shapes. In which, let's go to the sequencer where you have 1 to 4 tracks to work with. One thing I do respect in terms of Sugar Bytes' choice in terms of the sequencer is the fact that you can do this random, in which you can do many of crazy things to it without little to no effort. So it kind of gives you that kind of the roll the dice feel, or just luck of the draw, that you discover something that could work for you musically or non-musically, or however you like to create your sounds for that taste. So there's room for massive replay or reuse of this. Again, we have a piccolation area for the modulation, which is arpeggiator, is quite unique in the sense that it works in different manners in terms of you messing with the directions of stuff like that, from up and down, down and up. They use actual lines to where you can actually set the counter clock to even where you want to modulate just the gate as a source, which I mean is ridiculous, and I mean that in the darnest a good way there. So with that being said, one thing I really think is really interesting about this is the fact that, again, they welcome back where you can have chord progressions from major to minors to chromatic or whole notes, in which it will fit into the arpeggiation of that nature. But there's also a new one called sample and hold, which I can't even explain. Again, you can go to Sugar Bytes channel, which I will have the link in the description box if you're more interested to learn more about this, which I have to learn about the mind matrix myself into its brightest of detail there. So yeah, the filter section, again, I humbly praise Sugar Bytes for their filter section. Their filter section has always been ridiculous for that nature. So you have everything from vowel, comb, peak EQ, bandpass, and all that, which it could be a Buzz Killington if you're not seeing it visually, but music is to be heard, not to be seen. But it could be it's one of those iffy things, that could be good and could be bad, but depending on the person, it depends on how you feel about that. One thing that I'm very, very married to, again, is the amount of effects that you can use in here, from groove delay to reverse delay to any kind of delay, all kinds of stuff. But in particular, that the fact you can rearrange your effects, which play a huge role within your sound designing. So yeah, let that just sink into your head there, and let that be what it be. So how do I feel about this in a nutshell? I really feel real strong about this. Unfortunately, Birdman is not coming out to play, but he still wants respect on his name. So, you know, I would give it a light 4 out of 5, maybe a heavy 3 to a light 4 out of 5. But it is very brilliant, and I'm leaning towards a 4. And why? Because a lot of the stuff that they have introduced within this VST will set the standard for music in the later future. So I mean, it's just all about what you're gonna do in terms of your music in general, or if you just want to mess with some presets that are gonna be exhilarating from the jump. So that's basically about it. If you like this video, give it a like. If you have any comments, please leave a comment. I am DJ McCree, and thank you for your time. And I am out of here.